heart of our field lies the future of agriculture. In the heart of our field lies the future of agriculture. Sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions from the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe. Agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 11:15 a.m. Mondays and Fridays on Global TV, Channel 365 DSTV, StarTime Channel 276, or YouTube Livestream GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future.
Today's episode of Agriculture for Today and Tomorrow, the program that brings you practical knowledge, opportunities, and ideas for building a more productive, profitable, and sustainable agricultural sector. Remember, this is a Media for Agricultural Development project of GSAI, that's Growth for Sustainable Agriculture Initiative, an NGO focused on designing and implementing intervention projects that support African farmers to adopt sustainable farming practices to increase their yield and economic value. I am Daniel Black, your host, as usual, and today we will be talking on a very interesting topic. Over the last episodes, we have been talking about exports. We have looked at exports, agro-commodity export as a viable business in Nigeria. We have also looked at oil palm as a major export commodity. Today, we will be looking at another major agri-produce that provides massive and potential great foreign exchange for the Nigerian agricultural export business. We all know that Nigeria is blessed with agricultural commodities that have enormous potential beyond our domestic markets. One of such crop is plantain. Plantain is familiar to virtually every Nigerian household. We fry it, we boil it, we roast it, we process it into flour and use it to fry a variety of traditional and modern dishes. But beyond our plates, plantain represents a potential export business worth exploring. So today, we are going to be looking at export potentials of plantain in Nigeria. What opportunities exist? What forms of plantain can Nigeria export? Which markets are available, and what must farmers and agribusiness do to compete internationally? Let's get started. Why plantain matters. So plantain is an important food crop across Nigeria, particularly in the southern parts of the country and even the central regions. It provides food, income, and employment for thousands of farmers and participants across the agricultural value chain. But this is something, there is something particularly interesting about plantain. It is not just a food crop, it is a raw material for several businesses. So fresh plantain, as you can see, can be sold locally or exported where these markets and logistics conditions permit. But these are also processed products. But there are also processed products that with potentially long shelf lives and wider market opportunities. So these kind of products include plantain flour, plantain chips, dried plantain, plantain powder, and of course plantain-based snacks, frozen and unprocessed plantain products, and other food products developed from plantain. So this is important because one of the major challenges associated with agricultural exports is perishability. Of course, we know, and fresh plantain has a relatively short shelf life as compared with properly processed plantain products. So therefore, Processing can transform plantain from a highly perishable commodity into an exportable value-added product. So, and this is where Nigerian entrepreneurs and farmers can come in to think differently. So, indeed, instead of asking only how much can I sell my plantain for in the local market, what we should be asking is what products can I create from this plantain which will be very, very useful, and where can I sell it, where is it needed, and at what quantity is it needed. So let us explore the Nigerian export opportunities. What are the export opportunities available in Nigeria? We all know Nigeria has a large agricultural production base and a huge domestic market. You see, but the real opportunity lies in connecting your production capacity with international demand. So there are millions of Africans and other people of African descent living outside the continent who consume plantain and plantain-based foods. So markets in parts of Europe, North America, the Middle East, and other regions have growing demand for African food products, ethnic foods, and conveniently processed foods. This creates opportunities for Nigerian agribusinesses. However, we must understand one important principle. Producing commodity is not the same thing as producing an export commodity. We need to understand the difference between that. The international market requires consistency. Buyers want to know where was the product produced. That's traceability. How was it handled? Hygiene standards. What quality standards does it meet? How was it packaged? How long can it remain in good condition? What quantity can the supplier provide consistently? And can the supplier meet regulatory and documentation requirements? So if Nigeria wants to take plantain exportation seriously, we must move from producing alone to organize production, processing, quality control, packaging, logistics, and market development. Now, what can Nigeria export? We have talked about the opportunities. We have understood what plantain, which I believe all of us know what plantain is. What exactly can Nigeria export? So let's look at some of the major opportunities. Fresh plantain, which we have talked about, fresh plantain is already traded across borders in different parts of Africa. So for Nigerian exporters, the opportunity exists where reliable buyers and appropriate logistics can be established, especially in terms of the short perishability. But, of course, fresh plantain requires careful harvesting, handling, packaging, and transportation. Because, bruising and over-ripening can quickly reduce its market value. The second product that plantain can be created into and exported is plantain chips. Now, plantain chips provide an even more interesting opportunity for small and medium-sized businesses. So, instead of exporting the raw plantain, entrepreneurs can process it into packaged snacks. This creates additional value and can extend the shelf life of plantain. So, all farmers may sell a bunch of plantain for one price, but can organized processing, can they transform that same agricultural produce into a branded consumer product with a completely different value proposition. So after plantain chips, the next thing that we can also produce from plantain is plantain flour. Now, plantain flour is another promising product. It can be seen in various food applications and can appeal to the consciousness of consumers looking for alternative flour products. You see, for exporters, dried and properly packaged flour has an important advantage. It is significantly less perishable than fresh plantain, and it is also easily packaged than fresh plantain. We also have another product called the dried plantain and plantain powder. Plantain flour is different from plantain powder because of the processing stages. So properly dried plantain can also become an ingredient for food manufacturers and consumers. So this opens another opportunity for Nigerian processors to participate in international food supply chain. The lesson is simple here. The export opportunity is not necessarily in exporting more raw plantain. It is also in exporting more value. I will be taking a commercial break here, and when we come back, we will be discussing where the market is for plantain. See you after the break.
Sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions from the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe. Agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and in the heart of our field lies the future of agriculture. Sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions from the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe. Agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 11:15 a.m. Mondays and Fridays on Global TV, Channel 365 DSTV, StarTime Channel 276, or YouTube Livestream GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future.
Welcome back from that short break. This remains Agriculture for Today and Tomorrow TV show, a media for agricultural development project of GSAI, that is Growth for Sustainable Agriculture Initiative. Continuing from where we stopped, let us consider an important question. Where can Nigerian plantain products go? So of course, if we have so many people producing, so many people processing, beyond the domestic market, where can Nigerian products go? So the first opportunity is, of course, the African market, our neighbors, our brothers in the African continent. Nigeria is surrounded by countries with significant food demand, and regional trade trade can provide opportunities for agricultural commodities and processed food. So of course, we have the African Continental Free Trade Area, commonly known as AFCTA, which also provides a broader framework for increasing intra-African trade. Now, for Nigerian businesses, this means we should not think only about exporting to Europe or America, which is actually what is going on currently. Everybody wants to export to America. There are opportunities within Africa itself. Then we have, of course, the African diaspora markets in the Europe, in America, and Asia, and even the Middle East. So many Africans have migrated over there, and the demand for African food is increasing by the day. Of course, people living from Africa, migrating from Africa to Europe, North America, and other parts of the world are often demanding for familiar food, which includes plantain. So plantain chips, plantain flours, and other properly packaged plantain products can potentially serve these markets. But exporters must conduct proper market research, and they don't simply produce a container of plantain chips and start looking for buyers. Find the buyers first. Understand the market, understand the specifications, understand the packaging requirements, understand the applicable regulations, then produce according to the market. This is how serious exporters export their business and how they build the exporting business. Finally, what exactly are the challenges that they could face? The export potential is promising, but we must also be realistic about the challenges. Of course, quality and standardization is one of the challenges that they will face. Post-harvest losses in plantain, which has very, very low perishability. Poor harvest handling and transportation logistics can also be a very, very major challenge. We have processing capacity is another challenge that people wanting to go into exportation of plantain will face. Of course, and then packaging regulations and standards that they need to face is also part of that. So it is about protection of information and compliance. Then logistics and a whole lot of other market information that is being needed. The market information, like we said, you need to know where your market is, what type of product is going to be selling there. Finally, what should Nigerian farmers and entrepreneurs do? Organize one production. Farmers should also make sure that they have the right information, improve their farm management and standards being adopted to ensure that they meet up with the kind of regulations of the market they are going for. Work and effectively innovate to reduce post-harvest losses, and of course, invest in processing. That will be all we can take on agriculture for today and tomorrow. Remember, this is a Media for Agricultural Development project of GSAI, Growth for Sustainable Agriculture Initiative. You can contribute to this program by joining us on social media at gsainitiative.org, at GSA Initiative on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Or you can visit our website, www.gsa-initiative.org. I believe that you have benefited, gotten something from this program, from today's episode. See you in the next episode. Thank you.
In the heart of our field lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 11:15 a.m. Mondays and Fridays on Global TV, Channel 365 DSTV, StarTime Channel 276, or YouTube livestream GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future.